Allah's sign number 19 of 22.
Allah religion in her eyes.
British judge specialized in violence and crimes against women converts to Islam.
So we're here in London with Judge Marilyn Mornington. You've had a very active career. In fact, you're actually a district judge in the United Kingdom, and which is quite a significant position, legal position, because you have a lot of judges under you. But before we just get into a conversation, I'd appreciate it. One, you've only recently converted to Islam, so maybe you could just tell us a little bit about that.
I've been specialising in crime against women, violence against women and child abuse now for some 10 to 12 years on a policy level for the United Kingdom. And I became, by no choice of my own, because of the work I was doing, closely involved with violence against women in the Muslim communities in this country. And in order to understand better where they were coming from, began to read about Islam, began to read the Quran, and to mix with Muslims. I would have to say I don't think I really ever had any choice in the matter, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had his eyes on me, and that was it. From that moment on, without any choice of mine, I kept on meeting one person after the other who led me down a path where there really was no turning back from, because the more I got to know about Islam and about the Prophet, peace be upon him, it became obvious to me that this is what I want, where I wanted to belong, and it was what I wanted to believe. And I always felt very comfortable with the family life and the stories of the wives of the Prophet and the companions, and it was just somewhere that over a period of time, and I would have to say, Sheikh Hamza, from your own writings and your tapes that I was listening to, I realized this was obviously the life.
So in terms of, I mean, obviously you've dealt a lot with the Muslim issues, and I think we're all curious, you know, how bad is the situation, given that you've been involved in Muslim women's issues in particular. But what type of things have you come across just in your legal practice?
What we are seeing every day, both in my day-to-day practice and also on the committees that I'm having to deal with things, are issues of forced marriage, where people just do not understand the difference between their cultural practices, particularly those of which we have almost 2 million in this country from the South Asian continent, that these practices are not Islamic, they are cultural. And part of my work is to point that out.
I was interested to ask, I mean, you were talking about how you gradually started to learn about Islamic law and Islamic Sharia. I'm just wondering, how does that fit with your work? Because does that create some sort of conflict? Or?
The Sharia judge asked me this question.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very interesting. When we had a delegation of our most senior judges out to Pakistan recently, because we've signed bilateral agreements with them about returning children and matters of this sort. And before they arrived, the Sharia judges in Pakistan read our Children's Act. And when they arrived, they said there is nothing in your law that contradicts anything in Sharia law.
Yeah.
There is no difficulties about that.
It's one of the things I think a lot of people don't realize. You know, people that have studied Western law and Islamic law, just so much of law is rooted in common sense. It's rooted in very rational principles. I mean, the majority of Islamic law. In fact, I think a lot of Western people, when they study Islamic marital laws, are actually shocked at how progressive a lot of the laws are. I mean, that's more...
You're smiling. That means you've studied it?
I have been studying it.
Yeah, I see the smile. Yeah.
I've recently spoken to a female professor of Sharia law at Lahore University and a female professor of law, Professor Ali, at Warwick University here, who was Minister for Women's Development in Pakistan, but she's an English professor of law. They both told me within 3 weeks the same story, that when they lecture on Sharia family law, particularly the rights that women have, the demands they can make for their nikah contract, the male students all say, you're making this up.
No, they don't believe it.
This is the male Muslim students.
Yeah.
You're making this up. You're only saying this to please the girls.
Yeah.
Spanish women converted to Islam.
proud and happy to be a Muslim women, unlike media's
Women
propaganda.
are not denigrated at all in Islam. It's just the opposite. And again, it is the media which gives this bad image about it. In Islam, the woman has a very high rank. And you cannot find anything written in our holy book, in the Quran, that is denigrating the woman. It's just the opposite. We have a very high rank among the family, among society. We have to be heard, we have to be respected, and we have all the freedom maybe that other religions don't give to women. For instance, we can inherit, we can own our own property, and no one can touch that property apart from us. No husband, no father, no brother, no one. We can ask for a divorce as well. We can choose to be married or not to be married. We can choose if we want to have children or not children, big families, small families. It is our own choice, not like in other religions. So no, it's just the opposite. So we have all the freedom that other religions didn't give to women throughout history. As a new Muslim from Spain, I think that the scarf is something that protects women against men looking at you in a weird way. I feel very protected nowadays when I wear it in the street, because men don't look at you the same way. They know there is like a barrier that you have imposed on them, and it is your own choice. I know that in the TV or in the newspapers you read many articles about women that have been forced to do things that were against their will, but from my own experience, most of the friends I have, they have chosen to wear the scarf, to wear hijab, to be covered properly, but it has been a personal choice. For example, my husband has never forced me to do it. It was my choice from the beginning, before I got married to him and afterwards. And it was my own choice, so I'm very happy I did it at last. And I feel good about it. I remember many years ago when I talked to a friend of mine, a French girl, she said to me, yeah, but when you cover your body this way, when you wear the scarf, you are giving men whatever they want you to do. They are imposing something on you. And I said, no, don't you think that wearing a miniskirt is giving them whatever they want from you? Not covering yourself, because they don't expect a woman to cover herself. But if you wear a miniskirt and sexy clothes, then you are doing whatever they want you to do, just to please them, either at work or to have a better job, or so you are doing whatever they want, not